How is the consumer doing?
Well, thanks for having me, Carol and Bailey. It's great to be here again. We had a real strong quarter, 4 consecutive quarters of high single-digit growth and record gross margins, as well as the fact that we were able to raise our full-year guidance, as well as gross margin and EPS expectations. Overall, as a company, we're a stronger and a higher performing company defined by accelerated growth, expanding margins, and higher return on invested capital. To your question about the consumer is largely being resilient. Our products are really well segmented. We have Blue Tab, which is our premium high pinnacle product, and that's doing well. We've introduced that in the US. So far, so good. We have a Red Tab product that is basically marketed to consumers who earn between $100,000 and over, and that's based on our results really done well. And then we have our signature product sold through Walmart that again had a banner quarter, and that's for lower income consumers. So consumer strength really strong. That's why we were able to raise the full year guidance, and our product pipeline hasn't been stronger. Now, if you go outside the US, our international business was up in the high single digit, and so Asia had a strong quarter, consumer strong. Europe had a decent quarter, consumer in a better place, and so is Latin America.
Well, I'm just going to lay it out for you. I think I bought my first pair of Levi's in a long time, just a couple of months ago. And my daughter, who's 22, so much younger than me, has been buying Levi's for a while. So, Bailey, I mean, they're back. I go into the store in downtown in the Village, and yeah, it's packed.
Well, you get a partnership with Beyonce, all of the marketing you guys are spending in terms of targeting both young and older generations. But Harmit, I want to ask about tariffs. So Levi expects tariffs from China about 30%, but increased expectations to 20% from the rest of the world. Where are you sourcing your jeans materials? Are you more exposed to that doubling in terms of, are you getting materials from Vietnam in place of China?
Yeah, so overall, we're taking a holistic approach as we are able to offset the tariff impact. As you think about this year, we raised guidance in the top line and the bottom line and gross margin. So, we've been able to withstand that. To your specific question, Bailey, we source about 1% we import into the US from China, a little over 1% from India. And Vietnam is in the mid to high single digits. So most of our imports are from the Southeast Asian countries. Think Bangladesh, think Pakistan, and the rest of Asia. The way we think about our supply chain, it's fairly well diversified. We import from about 20 countries into the US. 60% of our business is outside the US, and so we're well positioned to mitigate and offset tariffs. And the way we're thinking about the holistic approach, given that volume is driving a big piece of our revenue momentum, and we have tenured vendor relationships. We're working with our vendors. We're looking at different cost efficiencies across our organization, as well as being very thoughtful about pricing.
So let me just ask you, though, you guys did, you mentioned you raised your full year outlook. You did warn that tariffs are starting to bite. Profitability to measure by gross margins improve. So these are like good stuff, but again, that tariffs are starting to bite. Harmit, can you tell us what that means? What the bite of tariffs? When, how much? Any color around that?
Sure. So, overall, we were able to raise top line and bottom line guidance despite absorbing tariffs, and so we are able to mitigate it. To the question about tariffs, tariffs were introduced on Liberation Day. We normally buy our products, 6 months in advance, and so, we are working through, our efforts, and we've got different levers to kind of position it. So you take quarter three, the quarter we just reported, gross margins are record. So we're able to offset tariffs because we got other things working for us. As we grow our women's business, our direct-to-consumer business, and international, all of which are accretive to gross margins. and allow us to mitigate and offset some of the tariff exposure. Q4, we did guide gross margins to be slightly down versus a year ago. And had it not been for tariffs, we would have grown gross margins. But overall, as we think about the year, we'll report, again, another year of record gross margin. So we're working on levers for 2026. The good news is we'll end the year stronger, and we believe we're well positioned to have another strong year in 2026.
And Carol, we've talked with a good friend, Peter Atwater, for quite some time about that K-shaped recovery, where people who are well off are doing much better than those really in the bottom quintile. Harmit, when you look at your goods, when you look at the ability to raise prices from the impact of tariffs, which products are you able to more easily raise prices where you aren't going to see consumers push away? And how are you thinking about that strategy as it relates to, say, the jeans that you do sell through a Walmart where you don't have that gross margin going direct to consumer, and you do have likely, at least when we look at the data, a consumer who's feeling the pinch of inflation, broadly speaking?
Yeah, and so the first thing, Bailey, to your question, is our products are well segmented depending on the income profile of different consumers. I talked blue tab, red tab, and signature. Signature is what's sold into the lower income consumer. We've been very thoughtful about pricing. We're leading with product innovation rather than price. And so we're doing what we can to maintain our price point. It was evident in Q3. Signature, for example, I think is up in the low double digits for the year. As we think about our other products, the good news for us is our product pipeline has never been stronger. We're leading with loose and baggy, while at the same time selling a lot of slim and skinny, both for him and her. We've got wonderful, waist up products. Think trucker jackets, think linen shirts, et cetera, et cetera. And so as a company, we're making this pivot to be more of a denim lifestyle retailer going forward. Our past was all about denim. Our future is going to be about denim lifestyle.